What's happening, friends and neighbors? Today we are going to get into a cocktail that isn't always beloved the minute it's ordered because it takes a lot of work, but it's also very enjoyed. This is called the Ramos Gin Fizz out of New Orleans, invented by a guy named Henry Ramos. And the thing about this drink is you're really looking for a beautiful meringue and a super frothed up, creamy nature to this cocktail. So it's extremely inviting, but it can require a ton of shaking. And so, at least as the stories go, when Ramos first opened up his bar, the thing was he would employ like a series of bartenders to basically pass these things down the line. And to make a much clearer point, when I was in New Orleans, you could not only order them shaken, but you could pay extra to have machines shake them for minutes longer. And so we're not going to quite shake them for minutes, but we're going to talk about the process. We don't need two jiggers, so we can go ahead and slide this guy out of the way. Having recently also interviewed Molly Troop out of Portland, Oregon, I figured I would use Molly's gin right here. We need 2 ounces of a London Dry, typically styled gin. Molly's is going to be a little bit more garden fresh, but I figure why not have a garden fresh Ramos gin right here, Ramos Fizz. An ounce of a 1-to-1 simple syrup. I am also going to need a little, this calls for a split, as we would sometimes use the term, of both lime and lemon. So this is about a 1/2 ounce of each of the 2 right here. A little fresh lime, fresh lemon. And some recipes call for it, some don't. I'm also currently reading the Maison Premier Almanac, and so without adopting all of their stuff, some call for a little bit of orange flower water, so I'm gonna put a little dash of orange flower water in there. So I've got those ingredients. From here, the final thing also that this drink needs, it needs a little bit of heavy cream. We're gonna need a nice full ounce pour of our heavy cream right here. And so I've seen this very different ways, but with Maison's style thing, they call for, we're going to do 2 rounds of dry shaking this cocktail. So I'm going to pop this on here, and for about 10 seconds, I'm going to kind of start frothing up this heavy cream right here. Okay, perfect. Now, about 1 small egg white. Typically, I find that's about 1/2 to 3/4 of an ounce-ish. So I'm going to drop a little 1/2 ounce of egg white in there, get that out of the way. Now we need another kind of like 10 ounces of shaking, 10 seconds of shaking. With egg white, you always want to be a little careful. Sometimes I can run into an issue with is when egg white really begins to froth up, it can increase the pressure inside your tins, and every once in a while, knock tins loose. Okay, so we have a nice beginning evidence of frothy mixture in here. So here is one of the things where the Ramos can take a minute. They are using cold draft ice at Maison, and so a lot of bars, the way they talk about this, they talk about using 2 to 3 2 like medium to large size cubes. I'm going to go ahead and use 3 of kind of my smaller ones that I keep in my little container right here. But the goal with this now is we're going to shake this all the way until this gets going right here. So, all right, take a look at the time to see how long this is. If we have to, we'll cut it out for your sake right here. There are certainly many bartenders who have how do we put this? Who have certainly broken a sweat before with this cocktail right here. No, I feel fine. I'm fine, really. Still in there. Arms are tired. Okay, been at it for a little bit over a minute right now. I can certainly feel it thickening up on the inside, that's for sure. Okay, for the sake of government work, for the fact that you're not paying me $15 for this, I'm going to go ahead and put this guy up. Now, forgot my strainer right here because sometimes people might just pour the whole thing in here. I'm going to lightly strain this because there is a small bit of cube still in here. What we are looking for at this point in time is a gradual thickening of this cream to kind of begin to slowly congeal together right here. So what pretty much everybody calls for is now I'm going to pick this guy up and I'm going to walk him over to my, you know what, I have my bar towel on me. I'm going to set this in my freezer for 2 or 3 minutes. I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, I step back into the frame. It's been about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. And what I can tell you visually for sure is now that I'm looking down at this guy, I can certainly tell that he is creamier right now. When I poured it out, if you wind the tape back a little bit, you'll see that it was pretty liquidy. Right now, there is a much greater viscosity here. Something I forgot to do at the time, which was in the Maison Premier playbook, and I'm sure it's because they wanted it to more congeal in with the cocktail. They recommend right after you pour it in there, they like a little citrus peel, so they like to do the citrus expression while this is still congealing, I think to probably help it better work into the cream. But so, throw my little lemon peel expression in there. So from here, we're going to top it with our club soda. For a tighter pour, I'm going to go ahead and pour from this jigger as opposed to in this can right here. And they also recommend something I've never done before, in this, with a straw in the middle, kind of opening a little channel by which this can better work its way in there. So, a little hole right there like so. Okay, and so that was in order to kind of get our froth to about here, and sometimes some bars will now even, with that carbonation in there, allow it to rest further. But so some places, of course, really like for it to be above. Oh, see, by waiting, it closed itself up, and now we've got a little cute foaminess right there. But I know some bars will at times allow it to rest for a minute longer, because at times, especially with the carbonation in there now, it will continue to raise for another moment or so. But this would be the Ramos Gin Fizz right here. It looks visually stunning and beautiful, of course. We got a little mound on here for fun. But cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Drop this in here. Let's have a little taste, shall we? Magic. Just magic. Tastes like ice cream.